So, now you know what CSR is all about. And it's not customer service rep. Okay, guys? Right. CSR, corporate social responsibility, is management's obligation to make decisions and take actions that will contribute to the welfare and interests of society, as well as to the welfare and interests of the organization. Corporate social responsibility, CSR, means distinguishing right from wrong and doing right, being a good corporate citizen. Social responsibility can be a difficult concept to understand because people have different beliefs as to which actions improve society's welfare. CSR covers a wide range of issues, many being ambiguous, so as to what is right or wrong. So researchers have come up with a model. They've got 4 approaches to CSR. You've got the obstructionist approach, defensive, accommodative, and proactive approach. Let's look at the obstructionist approach. When an organization adopts this approach, it would deny all responsibility of wrongdoing. For example, Enron. Now, if you remember, this American energy and commodities company that was based in Houston, Texas, systematically covered up losses by accounting fraud. It also misled shareholders into believing it was making healthy profits, when in fact it was losing money. Enron eventually went bankrupt, and many employees lost their jobs. Then you've got the defensive approach. Well, an organization that adopts a defensive approach admits some errors of omission. The company defends itself, but it's not obstructive. Defensive organizations tend to work within the letter of the law. An example of a company that took such an approach is British oil giant BP in the Gulf of Mexico oil spill. Now, if you recall, this oil spill caused extensive damage to marine and wildlife habitats and to the Gulf's fishing and tourism industries. BP played the blame game until the government stepped in. Let's watch a video.
Oil rig explosion led to crude oil being pumped directly into the Gulf of Mexico. The spill is clogging up the Mississippi Delta. An estimated 28 million liters of oil has gushed into the water, though some scientists say the real figure is much higher. And as our TV's John Hoffis reports, politicians and corporations are playing the blame game.
1 month and counting. A national disaster is still unfolding. Tens of thousands of gallons of crude oil still leaking every day. The powers that be still trying to shut off the oil tap, seeping scandal, politics, and corporate domination into Washington's ongoing investigation. BP's Deepwater Horizon explosion sparked fire on April 20th. 2 days later, the government agency that was supposed to be watching BP begins the probe. Obama comes to the rescue.
BP is responsible for this leak. BP will be paying the bill. But as President of the United States, I'm going to spare no effort to respond to this crisis for as long as it continues.
The once vivacious advocates of drill baby drill disappear, along with solutions to the problem. Obama sends SWAT teams as the oil reaches the shores of Louisiana. The media coins it Obama's Katrina.
From Hurricane Katrina, and now with this Gulf oil explosion by BP. Things where it shows where profits are over people.
The truth begins to unravel. The scandal begins to form.
The agency allowed rigs like Deepwater Horizon to drill with near certainty that blowouts would occur without adequate backup devices.
In the hot seat, Congress summons the culprits, BP America, Transocean, and Halliburton. They all blame each other and later admit they did not fully cap the rig, which led to the explosion.
Halliburton's cementing personnel were placed on standby.
The agency responsible for regulating the oil industry is exposed for its cozy industry connections. The government vows to break up the agency and install transparency.
All this as Bloomberg Business reports that same agency is the government's second biggest moneymaker next to the IRS, raking in $13 billion alone last year in royalties from the oil industry.
And yet, the rig is still gushing 25 to 65,000 gallons of oil into the ocean every day.
I call it the Congress of bribe takers.
So how do the American people feel about all this?
Basically, it should show the people that our government does not protect us.
I think it's unfortunate that the Gulf, both ecologically and sociopolitically, is suffering while two huge corporations battle out who's to blame instead of trying to work together to solve the problem.
It seems like a never-ending story, still painting an ugly picture, still polluting the Gulf of Mexico, unraveling an ecological disaster of epic proportions, with what seems to be no end in sight. Jahan Hafiz, RT, Washington.
Right, let's move on and discuss the accommodative approach to CSR. An organization that adopts an accommodative approach accepts social responsibility for its actions, although it may do so in response to external pressure. Firms that adopt this action try to meet economic, legal, and ethical responsibilities. A proactive approach. Well, a proactive approach to CSR means that an organization takes the lead in social issues. The organization seeks to learn what is in the public interest and respond without persuasion or pressure from stakeholders. Now, an example of a proactive approach was taken by entrepreneur Richard Branson. Together with others, he helped set up the Carbon War Room to implement solutions to climate change. The War Room aims to bring together successful entrepreneurs in collaboration with institutions, scientists, business leaders to implement the change required to avoid catastrophic climate change. If you want to learn or to know how you can make a difference, visit the Carbon War Room website and see how you can contribute. We've now come to the end of this iLecture. I hope you found some inspiration from the stories of the entrepreneurs in this iLecture. Do keep up with your readings and please attend your workshops. Bye for now.